Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, or whatever you'll be able to watch this cast. This is your host, Keith Woolrich here, and the host of Life Begins After 50. Part of this genesis of this video cast or podcast is to talk to those that have done some amazing things after turning 50. And this morning I have a wonderful guest, a good friend of mine that I know, especially for you women, that's going to add tremendous value to your life. So without further ado, let me see if I can add my good friend here, Circe Cox. What's happening, Circe?
Hi,
can we hear you? Oh, that's better. Yeah, the people want to both see you and hear you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Let me lower this so it doesn't echo.
Okay. All righty.
Okay.
That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. So what's been going on, my good friend?
Well, as you know, life keeps changing for me all the time. I think I'm going to do something fantastic in the next 5 years, and boom, 3 months later, I have something else going on. So I'm in the mood all the time.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I met Circe. When did we meet? Was it 2012 or 2014?
We met in 2012.
Okay.
When I came from the San Fernando Valley under Rabobank at the time. Rabobank had a program, and then Chase was able to provide funds for the office, and so to bring the CDFI, which is loans for small businesses that don't qualify through banks. And so you were the first not little man, but big man who actually said, you know what? I think I'll listen to this lady, see what she wants with banks. And so I was very thankful, Keith, that you were willing to listen to the Hispanic girl, just sit there and say, hey, what's going on? What do you need? What do you want? Give me tips about this town. I was brand new to the town, didn't know very much about it. I mean, I've come to shop, but that was about it, because at the moment I used to live in Fraser Park and commute to Van Nuys, the other side of the mountains. So thank you for that. Yes, it's been 10 years, my friend? 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. And we were both under 50, were we not? It was 10 years ago.
Yes, we were
in our 40s. We were in our 40s. And again, that's what I want to talk about, Circe. I've watched you mature, blossom, and grow over the last 10 years. And tell people a little bit more about your background and how has life gotten better for you, especially as a female business owner, as a female consultant, as a female banker, how life has gotten better for you after 50?
Well, let me tell you, getting to 50 was a challenge. And in many, many ways, you know, as a woman, people see you down, they don't want to advance you. As an immigrant, you have to go through the hurdles of, learning a second language and trying to make people understand that, okay, you may say something the wrong way, but they know what you're trying to say. And so along the way, I found people that were very nice and very willing to say, you know what, I'll give this girl a chance because I see that she wants to go forward. So I had two kids and my two babies when I was in my 40s. Actually, when I met you, I think I had Arlo and Aiden were like probably, let's see, they were they were babies. They were probably 5 and 7, and so then um, I started working hard. I kept moving forward here in this town. Decided, okay, what am I going to do with my life? I love what I do. I love helping businesses. Businesses are my passion. They've been since 1995 when I started working for nonprofits. But I wanted more. I wanted a solid idea of having my family more secure, myself more secured. And so in the 50s, I launched into many different venues. I started working for a bank. I worked for Bank of the West for a year and a half, learned about banking and what banks can do for businesses. I got my real estate license and started selling real estate here in Bakersfield. Still have my license. I still can do it, but that's one of the things that I did when I turned 50. I went forward and got my real estate license because I always wanted to do real estate. I thought, I want to see what that is all about. So I got that going. And then time went by. I continued working for the Small Business Development Center, helping all this small businesses with all the grants and loans and all that good stuff. And then I thought, you know what? I need to start figuring out something more solid, something that I can go about and help more people and do more things. And so, as you know, we have 2 venues that are going right now. One would be like to launch my consulting business and try and grow it and be independent and get away from the nonprofits. Not that I don't love them. Obviously, I've been doing it since '95. They must have given me a high for that because it helping people and making them be successful and seeing them grow is great. But like my friend Vera said, when I was she must have been my age when she said this comment to me was, Circe, we must have done something wrong in the other world because here you and I are helping people get rich and we're still poor. And I said, well, because we work at a nonprofit. What do you want? So, but I think that, our gains were the successfulness of other people. And now in my 50s, I want to give myself that success. I want to be able to say, okay, now you're my client. Now what are you going to do? You already, in your 20s, you had fun and you partied and you traveled and you did great stuff. In your 30s, you focus on your career and what you were going to do, and then had 2 children. In your 40s, you raise those kids and try to keep them going and be successful. And in your 50s, it's your time, baby, your time. So what are you going to do for you? And so
I love that. Saying it's your time, right? So you're saying basically it's time for Circe in her 50s to do what she wants to do. Did I catch that correctly?
That is. And you know what, Keith? I think that a lot of women my age, I know for a fact that my sister, who's 53, she's in the same boat. She's in the same boat. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that have raised their children, that have put aside their careers for the better good of their family. And after the kids are all growing, you say, okay, now it's my turn to turn the light on myself and see that I fulfill my dreams. For example, I went back to school. I just registered to take some classes again. I want to get my, I don't have a degree here in the US. I have it in Mexico, but not here. And I want to be able to get my bachelor's in business administration with, maybe a minor on looking at rocks, since I love rocks so much.
Right. Get a minor in paleontology or whatever that is called. Yeah.
A business administration with a minor in geology.
Hey, in geology, that's it. Geology, that's it. Right.
The world is my bowl, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to eat those cherries that are in that bowl. So I recently, in the last 15 days, started also with State Farm.
Really? Tell us about that.
Well, State Farm is really an impressive company. I worked before for Farmers and for New York Life, and the training that State Farm gives their new agents, like I said, is quite impressive. I studied for about a week and a half. I think I had to take, I don't lie to you, probably 25 to 30 courses just on learning, their programs and their software, and the difference between their coverages and their other companies' coverages and their mutual funds. So that means that all the money, they don't have really stockholders. All the money goes to the policyholders who own a State Farm. So I am hoping that that is going to send me to my next level of being a more successful business assistance or business consultant. I understand it, but I understand also that I need to service my clients a little bit better in the fact that they don't even know what they have and they don't understand it because they're not insurance agents, right? And
Right.
so that's another step in my beautiful life of turning 50. I had the insurance license since 2009, never did very much with it other than, like I said, working for New York Life and State Farm for a while. So I did do something with it, but that was in 29 and 10, 11. But as you know, my life has been taking me many places, and I've learned many things that have gotten me to where I'm at. For example, going to Ecuador and talking to business owners that were going to be affected by mines, and how were they going to be able to sustain themselves and provide assistance to these businesses. And I still, here at my 50s, have it's the Circe Institute that does this, and the mantra that they taught me has gotten me to be here at my 50s, trying to say, you know what, if I don't come to me now that I'm 50, if I don't come to me to talk to me and say, okay, Circe, this is what you need to do. And thank you, Keith, because I got to tell you, you and Maureen are my two biggest pushers of doing what I need to do. And you're such a good guidance, sitting down, even though I know I'm a consultant, even though I have been doing it since 95, there's, my background has always been in financials and lending and looking at what's going on. I mean, my background was in accounting. So marketing is not my strength. And so I really appreciate you showing me some of the ropes that need to be done about managing, trying to get yourself at 50 somewhere.
Right.
Because,
Well, Circe, we're all in the same boat. That's why I launched this. We're all in the same boat. We're all at this age saying, okay, where do I go from here? I talk about, I'm gonna do a show on me being an empty nester now, and a lot of people forget that dads go through it too, especially when you have daughters, right? So I'm basically too at the same, but where do I go from here? What's my next step? My children, believe it or not, that's why I worked so hard in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. You know what I mean? So I've had some wins and I've had more losses than wins, but we're still here in our 50s. And I do believe that life begins now because we're wiser, we're smarter, we know which buttons to push and which ones not to push at this age. And the reason for this show is to give people encouragement that don't throw dirt on us yet. We still have a lot of fuel in the tank. We can help your workplaces because we can be that old wily vet to tell those youngsters, I wouldn't do that. You probably should listen, so that we are excellent teammates in this age. So I think you are that example that you have gone through a lot, you've experienced a lot, and you also will bring so much to State Farm in the second half of your career.
Yeah, thank you, Keith. It is difficult to turn 50. I'm going to tell you, I remember when I was young, I must have been in my late 20s, early 30s. And we had a program in the San Fernando Valley that was actually targeted to 55 and older, to get them jobs through the work source centers. And I thought, oh, how sad it is that you're 50, 55, and you can't get a job because you are overqualified. Overqualified. Everybody tells you, oh, you're overqualified. What the hell is overqualified? So you're 55 years old. Okay, you're 50, 55. You're in your 50s, and you've worked how long? I'm sorry for my language. You have worked like from your early teens, right? And now you're in your 50s, and you have all that experience. And you're telling me that because I have lived this long and I have had so many experiences in my life, you're going to call me overqualified, so you can't pay me a salary and you can't give me a job.
Yeah, that's awful. That's wrong. Don't you want someone in your workplace that will bring value? And age and experience does that. So no, you're absolutely correct. And don't worry about cussing. That's why we can do a blogcast. I don't have the FCC on my neck, so I own this. So you can say whatever you want to say.
Just bleep me. Just bleep me.
Now you can say whatever you want to say. At 50, we can say whatever we want to say. You know what I mean? We don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, being in my early 30s and seeing that gave me a perspective of, you better get your act together, Circe, because you're going to get 50 and you're going to be on the other side of the desk talking to somebody like me, a younger person, and begging that, hey, I'm qualified enough. I have the experience. I don't have children to worry about. I would be such a much better employee than your younger ones who are still wanting to party or partying, and they call in and they say, I'm going to be a little late or whatever. We are we're more steadfast on our approaches to work. We want our employers or our clients, if we're self-employed, right? We want our clients to know that that we'll be there for them and that we have their backs and that we have the knowledge, yes, of many years experience, and don't put me a mark saying, you're too old to provide any goodness to this world of business or to this world of growing children or to this world of community. Don't say that to me. I think that it is unfortunate that in this country, we don't value the elderly.
Yeah.
We just don't. Other communities, and I'm sure that there's parts in the United States that people are like, you are wrong. But okay, so maybe it's just California. We don't value our elderly, right? We don't think of them as being someone that has so much knowledge, so much potential to teach you so many things. Sometimes, I'm talking to a young person and they roll their eyes at me like, you're stupid, you're old, you don't know what you're talking about. And I just say, okay, I'm going to keep my opinion to myself, let you kind of trip on that rock, and then you will see what I was trying to tell you. Because sometimes, yes, we're 50, we have the knowledge, but we also have to stop and say, if you want younger people to not have somebody tell you their experiences and learn from somebody else, being in somebody else's shoes, then that's what it is. I, for example, have friends that are in their 70s, in their 80s, and I sit with them and I talk to them about their knowledge and what they're passing along. And it's so important. There's so many things that people can continue teaching you as you age, because they have 20 years experience over me on that period between 50 and 70. So we have so much more experience between 50 and 30. Think of it when you were 30, Keith. What were you doing when you were 30? Or
I don't want to let anybody know what I was doing when I was 30. No, but you're absolutely correct. And I appreciate that. And as we wrap up, what advice would you give to that young lady who may be 48, 49, getting ready to go 50, turn 50, or someone who's 50 now and just don't quite know where she's going, in a minute or less? And I'm going to do something. I want you to tell her in a minute or less what she should do. And also tell my Spanish speaker listeners, females, my Latinas. Okay. Give them that advice both in Spanish and in English.
First of all, trust yourself, that you know where you are, that you know you have people that you can that can back you up. You can go to resources that are available in the community. Sometimes your family kind of stops you, but you're the one that stops you. Nobody else can stop you if you don't stop yourself. Move forward. Do what you need to do for yourself. Believe in you. Isn't that what you tell me, Keith, all the time? Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I'm going to repeat what Keith tells me. Believe in yourself. You can do it. You can do whatever you want. Be free. Take off that chain that you have on your ankle and start walking the road of success, whatever may be. Success in your personal, success in your business, success in your education, whatever it is, you have the power to do that. And I'm going to say that in
Spanish. Tell them in Spanish.
Here we go. A todas las personas que están afuera, que tienen 50 años o más, no se den por vencidos, no se dejen vencer por el tiempo. Camínenle adelante. Ustedes tienen todo lo que tienen en su poder para poder triunfar. Siempre Keith me ha dicho, cree en ti, cree en ti, cree en ti. Creo que es una de las cosas que tiene uno que estar siempre diciéndose cada mañana cuando te levantes. Dite a ti mismo, el día de hoy yo creo en mí, yo voy a ser una persona que el día de hoy voy a tener éxito. Eso es lo que necesitan decirse cada día, todos los días. Every day you tell yourself, you look in the mirror and you say, I will be successful today. I will be successful today, until you are successful that day.
Well, that's wonderful, Circe. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom with our listening audience. And ladies and gentlemen, this will not be the last time you see Miss Cox and I together, because we are planning a financial webinar for both English and Spanish speakers about banking and things of that nature, because to say so, in our 50s, we are experts on the subject. We are. So get ready to see a Spanish and English, how to get a yes out of your banker. So with that said, thank you so much for tuning in. Circe, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your time. And till I see you again. Bye for now.